Hey guys, Dave here. Let's get started. Let's dive into the bottom end of this motorcycle. We're going to start today by pulling the engine out of the frame, getting it up on the bench, and then we're going to split those cases. But before we get to that, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing to the channel below, and leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see more on this channel. Do you want to see more how-tos or racing or travel? Do you want to see more of the Husqvarna or the motocross bike or the BMW? Tell me what you want to see. Leave it in the comments below, and I'll try to cater this channel more towards what you want to see. But for now, for today, let's dive into the bottom end of this motorcycle. So you can see on the table in front of me, I've got some of the tools that we're going to need to pull this off. We got a crankcase splitter from Tusk, ordered from Rocky Mountain ATV. We got a crank puller. We've got a flywheel puller, a clutch basket holder and placer, various sockets, torque wrench, impact driver when taking stuff off, although we're going to do a lot of this with hand tools just because you have to unscrew certain bolts in certain orders at a certain amount of torque, so this probably won't get used too much. Clean rags, and then I've got a camera here, my phone camera, and this one, and a GoPro, so we're going to have them all shooting this, so if I need to reference anything, I can just go back to the footage. So we're going to unbox these tools, make sure we understand how to use them, and then we're going to just dive right in. We're going to start by taking some pictures here, and we're going to take a lot of them. Simple as that. Got that flywheel off, and you got a little woodruff key here. There. Next, we're going to take out the cam chain, so it looks like we've got to do these two little 8mm. There we go. So now we got the cam chain out. We'll give it a quick little once over. I feel like this should just come right out. And it does, look at that. Okay, so that bracket comes out, allows you to take out the cam chain guide. There. Alright, let's flip this over to the other side and take that clutch basket assembly off. This is torqued down to 75 foot-pounds, so it's not crazy. So that's that. And my wife is calling. Let's take out the Kickstarter assembly next. How does this go? Got that spring. So I believe this is the idler gear for the Kickstarter, so I'll use these snap ring pliers. Oop, open that up. Snap ring. Baby washer. Gear. Alright, next we're going to take out the primary drive gear here. We've got an aluminum crush washer. We're going to wedge that there. Alright, while we're here, we're going to work on this balancer shaft gear, and then on the other side, the counterweight. Alright, so I'm just taking a tiny little screwdriver first to pry under there. Now I can fit this big guy in a little bit better. Alright, so we've got the little primary drive gear back on, washer in there. Oh, I already did it. Okay, that's all it took. Okay, alright, so now what we'll do is we'll flip the motor over to the other side and we'll take off the counterweight on that. A little blip shocks that off. Let's flip this back over. Alright, looking at this here, we've got the oil pump drive gear, which is held in with a circlip, and then the actual oil pump assembly, which is right behind this gear here. So we are going to take this circlip off, take off the drive gear, and then remove the fuel pump down in here. That's what we're going to tackle next. Okay. So on the back side of the oil pump, you've got this guy, you have this sleeve, this guy here. That slides onto the back of the oil pump. So this is the shift shaft, goes through here to the other side where the shift pedal attaches, the shift lever. So this is just the other side. We are going to disassemble this. There's a torsion spring in here, so we got to be careful in the way in which we do that. But when we pull this out, the shift shaft will come out from the other side. And then once we get that done, we can split the case. Okay, well, we just pulled that straight out. Here's your shift shaft. Pull the entire assembly out like that. You can use a little bit of force to take this bolt out so long as you don't damage the segment. I guess this is apparently called the segment. So I've got it twisted counterclockwise until it stops. And I'm just going to hit it with this carefully and see. There it is. Okay, I guess that's all it took. So pull this pin out. Okay, that's definitely not the way to disassemble that. I think at this point, this side of the motor is totally bare and ready to split. So we'll bag this up and we'll flip it over, make sure the other side's good, and then we'll start unscrewing everything. I'm gonna go and loosen these a quarter turn at a time. Alright, we got these kind of placed more or less where they should be. Oh, that one's kind of, do that hole there. Alright, so it's pulling off slightly crooked, so we're going to back this off. Use my fingers. There we go. Look at that. Oh yeah. Careful not to let the transmission gears fall out. Let's go ahead and pull this crank out so I don't have to keep worrying about the connecting rod damaging the sides of the case there. I ended up taking the case splitter, putting it on the other side of the crank, tightening this down, and it is pushing the crank out the other side slowly. And there it is. There's the old crank. You can see here that the connecting rod is totally jammed up in here. So it's, you know, freewheeling here for the most part, binds up a little bit, but then when it gets right up in here, it's totally solid. So that's where our issue is.